Okay, just one little tip. If you're using water and you've bought this and you haven't dyed it yourself, it might actually not be dyed that has been sealed, so it might come out. So I've just had this mistake of forgetting, and it's come out on my cloth here. So just be careful about that if you're putting water on it. It might come out on your hands, might come out on the tablecloth. Put something on there that's going to be protected. Next stage, look at this fabulous pleated piece. Do you like the colour? So this can be made out of silk, Abaca. We've actually put some Petersham on the bottom here. We haven't finished it off completely yet, just showing you the stages. So we're going to have a go at creating this one. What you want to do first is get a nice wide piece. This one is quite a few inches. What have I got? 15 inches going on there. Just going to chop off this rough bit at the bottom. Use paper scissors or cinema scissors for this, because it's going to blunt your scissors otherwise. Now, because you haven't got a bias and it's a straight grain, you can't then start folding from the top and going down, because it's just going to go all wonky. You're going to be trying to do it, it's going to kink in, it's going to be a nightmare. So what we have to do is actually fold it on the straight. Now if I folded all of that, I would then have a really big one, but I wouldn't have much space here. But it'd be very, very high. So if you want to do that, fine, you can bring it down, you can have it going off in one direction. But to make this one, we can actually cut it in half. So I've got here 26. So if I do that 13, cut it in half at 13, and then I'm going to get this straight grain. I'm going to sew this onto the bottom of this one, and then we have a nice long pleated piece. So we can actually go all the way down there, and then start spreading it out, and then you have an awful lot more to be spreading out once you've pleated it. So with your edges, just make sure that they're straight. This one here is a little bit wonky. I'd have to cut that straight. This edge here, it's much better. This edge is reasonably straight. You can cut off any excess bits and then pin it together. So I'm not going to pin too much, it's just going to be about a ½ centimetre in again. But if you want to do a French seam, then have about 1.5 centimetres, because then you can sew all the way down, and once you've done that, you can splay it out and iron it, and then you can actually do 2 little folds so that you end up getting a nice neat seam. So you would sew it normally, and then you're just going to fold it in and fold it down again, and then sew that down again. Or if you just want a little seam, then you just do a ½ centimetre, and then you'd have to just go over it as well to make sure the edge doesn't fray. But then you're going to see it in the piece. So a French seam could be better for you. So I'll just sew down there and then show you the next stage. Okay, so we've just sewn that together, and then we're going to pleat it up. So if you can just do about 1 inch pleat one way, the other way. try and keep them exact. Just try and keep it as neat as possible. Okay, so we've got all that together. Then I would recommend you iron all of that quite flat. If you want to put a lot of pressure on it, you could put a cloth on top. And then hold one side down, and we can actually pleat out this side. So you could have that going over the head, quite a dramatic shape, or you could have it sticking up. You could twist it, say in the middle, and have something bizarre. Putting it on the side slightly, you know, whatever you fancy. So this one that in particular that I've done here, I've pleated it all together and then pulled out that bit, and then you can actually roll it around. So what we've done is rolled it up in here and then pulled out this side here, and then it was the rough edge that we had down here, so we actually put Petersham all on the edge of that to make it nice and neat. So I could just pin that in. So I just pinned it inside there, and then this section, this bit here, we actually wired. So you can put some wire just on the inside, some French millinery wire, just tuck it into there. You can, if you use white, then you can actually paint that in the same colour as this. So, you know, that's just this nice green colour, and then you can actually fold this edge around. So then you're covering up all of the wire. So just French millinery wire, one piece, fold over your end at the top, fold over your end at the bottom, so that it's not sticking out and it's not just a metal piece that's going to be, you know, going to be able to work its way out. So you just bend it underneath, inside. So bend it this end, bend it this end, and fit that in and just sew that down. So you know how to sew wire on, just do that as you've been told before, and then fold your edge down. So this one here, we've actually pinned onto a cinema base, which we haven't finished yet, so we haven't done all of that yet, but we've pinned that onto here just to show you. This is the Petersham, pinned in here, pinned here. This here is where the wire is, and then folded it over. So that long stretch there has got wire in it. The end of the wire here I folded over, the end of the wire here we folded over and just sewed that down. Petersham on this bit, so this is the bit sticking out, and pinned it here and pinned it here. So we're going to sew in there, and then put the whole thing onto the base. But if I just take this off, you can then see how it was. So it's just a straight piece that we've pleated together, pulled that, brought that in, wired that so it stuck out, and then by the time you've pleated this and put the Petersham on it, it actually stretches it out a little bit, so this is doing this. And then your seam at the back, we've got a rough seam here still because we haven't finished it, so you want to just fold that and fold that in and sew down there so that you're not seeing any rough bits at the back.